I don't know who else saw the clip or if you just read the quote from Damian Lillard out there today. And the Dame stuff is starting to heat up a little bit. The clock, it might be Dame time. Time might be running out in Portland with Dame right now, because now for the maybe the first time we're hearing him say. I watched the clip. You got to watch the clips for context. You can't just read the quote, because reading it will just make it seem like he said, yeah, I would love to go to Miami. The person whose show or podcast or whatever he was on was asking him about a few different teams, if there were hypothetically a trade, like which one of these teams would sound attractive to you. And he said, like, well, obviously Miami. I feel like he just heard Miami and was like, well, why wouldn't I say Miami when, we know they have a great organization and franchise. They're in the finals right now. We know what they bring basketball wise, but it's also like, you named places where Miami's the obvious choice out of those cities you just named. So I just feel like when you watch the clip, it wasn't just him saying, yeah, I'd love to, send me to Miami. I'd love to be there. He was picking from different options. But that being said, I will go back to when Kevin Durant was asking out of Brooklyn. And I did a video because the two teams that were apparently at the top of his list were Phoenix, which is where he ended up at, and Miami. And I did a video saying that Miami should have gotten into the KD sweepstakes at the time. I wasn't sure if they would, but I felt like they should have, to mainly get Jimmy Butler a primary scoring running mate on the wing. I felt like that was something Miami should have been more interested in. Now, that was also me feeling like Miami was going to backtrack a little bit. And for people who watched them this season, it felt like they did. It felt like I was right. And it was like, man, they should have swung for another star, KD or something, because it looked like this season they didn't look like a championship team, right? And they kind of flipped the switch and got hot at the right time. It still comes down to, like, their two best players, Jimmy and Bam, they're not natural scorers. Again, it's fine, and I think it's perfect for the system they're in, but they're not natural scorers. So when I talk about Miami, not going for KD when they had the chance, and now with Damian Lillard saying that, he wouldn't mind being a member of the Miami Heat, I wonder what happens. And we'll see what happens over the next couple weeks and how the series plays out. If they lose, Miami might be fine. They may not see it as like, okay, let's, maybe we do need another star piece. Maybe we do need to add another offensive weapon to the mix. So I think that would be justified because you did this without Tyler Hero. I also would understand if Miami were interested in looking at some deals for Damian Lillard and bringing in, especially a point guard like that. Like, can you imagine Jimmy having an offensive running mate, scoring, like elite scoring player like a Damian Lillard, like a Kevin Durant, but especially at point guard. I mean, I think Damian Lillard, Jimmy Butler backcourt. I mean, I think that works in so many ways.